was your day? I'm here to tell you that God is taking care of everything while you rest. You can relax now. Close your eyes. Soften your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. Slow your breath. This is your moment with God. Nothing else matters right now but simply being. You are safe. You can rest. In peace I will lie down and sleep. For you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. Psalm 4:8. Let go of today's tension. Release control of what you can't change. Allow yourself to trust like a child falling asleep, knowing she's protected. You don't have to be in charge right now. You don't have to fix everything before bed. There is a God greater than you, and He is in control tonight. You can rest in His care. Your body is slowing down, and with it, your mind finds quiet. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, imagine releasing fear. Feel peace slowly filling you in. Thoughts may still come and go, but you don't have to follow them. Just watch them and let them go. Each time you release, you make space, and God enters that space with peace. Faith is also rest. It's when you choose not to carry it alone. It's when you trust there's an unseen force guiding every detail behind the scenes. And right now, that force is working for you. You are being wrapped in a gentle presence, like a warm hug on a cold night, like a blanket of light over your tired soul. Nothing needs to be fixed in this moment, only embraced with love. Let Him hold what feels heavy. Let Him carry what you fear. God doesn't sleep. While you rest, He watches, and He never fails. Maybe this is your prayer of surrender, not from despair, but from trust, saying, I can't anymore, but I know who can. And that's enough for tonight. Faith doesn't need answers. It needs surrender. You're not being weak by resting. You're being wise. God honors those who know how to rest in Him, because it's in the stillness that He does His greatest work. And tonight, He's doing something new. Your soul begins to settle. Your heart slows its rhythm. Your mind quiets like a lake without wind. And in the center of it all, His presence whispers, I am here. Feel how held you are, like heaven itself is leaning in over you, like angels are gathering your thoughts. You are being watched over. You are being renewed. And while you sleep, something within you will be restored, not because you fought, but because you trusted. Can you feel the peace coming now? It's no accident you found your way here. There's a calling whispering into night's stillness. Maybe you won't hear it with your ears, but your heart knows. Something inside you longed for peace, and heaven replied. Close your eyes and feel that whisper softly pulsing. You don't need to fight what you're feeling anymore. Your tired thoughts don't need to be conquered. Here, in this moment, there's space for you to just be. Allow yourself not to know. Allow yourself to just rest. God is already drawing near, and He understands it all. Maybe today was one of those heavy days, with aches you couldn't explain to anyone, or silent demands you placed on yourself. But here, in this safe space, those voices quiet down, because here love asks for nothing, only welcomes. You don't need to explain yourself to God. He didn't come to charge you. He came to comfort you. He knows who you are beyond what you show, and still, knowing everything, He chose to love you. Now, let that truth wrap around your heart. Feel the breath going in and out, like the Spirit is rocking you gently. You are alive. You are here. That alone is a miracle. While so many sleep without peace, you're seeking His presence. That's faith, even when everything feels uncertain. And faith opens doors that fear cannot close. There is no safer place than in the arms of the Creator. And right now, He's opening that sacred space just for you. Step in, without rush, without guilt, without fear. Here, there are no demands, only a promise. Come to me, and I will give you rest. You may not notice it right away, but something inside you is already shifting. The energy around you starts to vibrate differently. It's as if your soul recognizes the divine touch, and this is just the beginning. Your breathing slows. Your mind finds refuge. The body lets go of what was tense. The soul finds shelter, and the spirit starts to hear more clearly. Nothing has to happen right now. You don't need all the answers. Presence is enough. God is here, and that is everything. Just feel and receive. And as you surrender to this sacred silence, notice something forming in the background. A new light. A seed that will be watered in the next moment. Are you ready for what comes next? The stillness of night is not absence. It's an invitation disguised as silence. It's when the world's noise steps back that God's voice can be heard more clearly. He speaks softly, but straight to your spirit. How many times have you looked for loud signs and missed the sacred whispers? The truth is, the divine prefers the gentle. He doesn't invade, He invites. And now, He's calling you closer. Today, if you hear His voice, do not harden your hearts. Hebrews 3:15. You may not have answers yet, but you are exactly where you need to be, in between the weariness and the rest, between what has been and what is about to be born. This space is fertile, and here everything shifts. God doesn't need much to move, just a willing heart, a space of faith, and you've already offered Him both. You may think your faith isn't enough, but faith isn't measured by size. It's a gesture. It's this surrender you're making now, even tired, even unsure. To God, that is more than enough. With every whispered word of surrender, heaven moves more in your favor. Angels draw closer, and your heart aligns more with eternity. You are stepping into another state of being, for He will command His angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. Psalm 91:11. The soul, when listened to, reveals its wounds, but it also points to where healing lives, and you are listening bravely. You're allowing yourself to feel, no longer running, and that's what opens the gates of the miracle. Now is not the time for judgment. It's time to embrace your humanity. God is not afraid of your pain. Tomorrow isn't here yet, and yesterday is already gone. Today is all there is, and in this today, you are being guided. Even when you can't feel it, God is leading. Stay in this quiet space of surrender. Let faith grow like roots in wet soil. It makes no sound, yet it holds everything. Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord. Jeremiah 17:7. And when the time comes, you'll understand why the night mattered so much. But until then, stay here, because more will be revealed in the next step. Are you willing to continue? There are things even you don't fully understand. Deep sensations, unnamed tears, a heaviness in your chest from long ago. But heaven doesn't ask for explanations. It welcomes you before you can even speak. Before a word is on my tongue, you, Lord, know it completely. On Psalm 139:4, you don't need to sort everything out. God reads your soul like an open book, and He's not afraid of your darkest pages. Maybe you've been trying to look too strong, trying to hold it all together alone. But here, in His presence, you can fall apart. You can let go of the masks and the weight. Truth sets you free and heals. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. John 8:32. That truth inside you, even broken, even messy, is still deeply loved by God. He doesn't ask for perfection, just surrender. Your crying may seem weak to the world, but to the Father, it is a sacred prayer. Each tear has a name, a reason, a purpose, and none of them go unseen in heaven. You have collected all my tears in your bottle. Psalm 56:8. You are being seen. You are being cared for, even when all feels silent. Delay is not rejection, it's refinement. Something precious is being formed in you now, and the pain, though bitter, is being turned into light. Weeping may last through the night, but joy comes in the morning. Psalm 35. Even when everything seems still, the Holy Spirit is still moving. In the invisible, the hidden, the soft. That's how true miracles begin. Maybe you're waiting for something big, but heaven always starts with a small, with a breath that slows, a thought that quiets, a spark of faith returning after deep exhaustion. Do not despise these small beginnings. Zechariah 4:10. This moment right now is sacred, not because everything's perfect, but because you chose to pause. And that pause is an opening to doors only faith can reach. Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28. You came with what you had, just as you are. And God, as always, welcomes you with open arms. Nothing in you needs to change to be loved right now, but everything in you will be transformed in time. Your prayer, even in silence, is being heard. Your spirit is being renewed quietly, and when you least expect it, you'll feel the lightness of someone touched by God. And maybe that's already beginning. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Psalm 51:10. Stay here, in this place between what was and what's about to come, because what's coming carries the scent of a miracle, and the next breath might be the answer your soul's been waiting for. Can you feel that breeze arriving? Not everything requires your strength. There are moments when the best choice is to let go. Let go of control, of urgency, of fear of what might go wrong. Because there's a place where surrender means more than effort, and that place is the arms of God. You made it here through faith. Even when you thought you had no strength left, something inside you kept going. And that is already a miracle. Not every miracle is loud. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust in Him, and He will act. Psalm 37:5. That promise isn't a metaphor. It's a real invitation for tired hearts that just want to rest in peace. You don't have to know how He will do it. You just have to trust that He will. That He knows the way, even when you see no way out. That He guides your steps, even through tears. That He never fails, even when everything seems wrong. Letting go is not giving up. Letting go is trusting. It's giving God the chance to move without interference. It's allowing His plan to be greater than your own. And resting in that place is faith in motion. Maybe you've been trying to fix everything alone, holding pain, answers, tough decisions, but that weight isn't fully yours. He wants to lift it from you, and you can let him. The faith that brought you here won't fail you now. It will carry you forward, even through the unknown, even in the dark. The light guiding you doesn't come from outside. It shines from the spirit within you. You don't need to rush. This is not a path of speed. It's a path of trust. Each step is a yes. Each breath a prayer. You are being shaped with tenderness, not like ordinary clay, but like something precious in the potter's hands. And yes, the shaping may hurt, but the final form will be divine. In the waiting, in the space between prayers, God works behind the scenes. He connects paths, heals hidden wounds, and prepares you for what's coming in abundance. Nothing is standing still. It's being prepared. Now it's time to rest your soul, to trust the sacred timing of promises, to embrace rest as part of the path, and to see that by letting go, you rise, lighter, more aligned, closer. The seed you planted in faith will sprout at the perfect time. The ground is already being watered with divine love, and the first signs will come, soft but unmistakable. You'll recognize them, and maybe that recognition begins in your next step. What God wants to reveal to you is gently drawing near. Prepare to hear something your soul has longed for. Are you ready to continue? Sometimes it feels like everything has fallen apart. Interrupted plans, broken hopes, and a quiet emptiness you can't explain. But the end of something is never the end of everything. It's just a curve in the path. Behold, I am making all things new. On Revelation 21:5, that promise is not locked in the future. It's happening now, when you choose to trust, even among the ruins. The new doesn't always begin with joy. Many times it's born from grief, from the goodbye you didn't want to say, from the goodbye that left you breathless, but made space for grace to begin again. Maybe something was torn away from you, a relationship, an opportunity, an old dream, and now you're trying to understand why. But God doesn't explain everything right away. First, He comforts you. Before He brings meaning, He brings embrace. Before He justifies, He holds your hand. Before He opens new doors, He heals the wounds. And that process may feel slow, but it is deeply loving. You are not left behind. What was taken does not define what's to come. Something is being sown in the dark, and every seed must die to bloom. You are germinating, even if you don't realize it yet. Don't rush the healing. Don't force understanding. Just accept you are being reborn, and in due time, it will all make sense. But for now, simply trust. God sees more than you can. He isn't limited to what your eyes perceive. While you grieve what was lost, He's preparing you for what's to come. And that changes everything. Pain is not the end. It's the bridge between what is gone and what's coming, radiant and full of light. You are crossing that bridge. Keep walking, even with tears in your eyes, even without knowing the destination. Faith doesn't need a map, just surrender. What once seemed closed will open. What felt forgotten will be remembered. What looked dead will rise again, not by your strength, but by the invisible hand that never left you. And when you least expect it, something will bloom exactly where the pain was. And you'll smile, not because everything is solved, but because everything has begun to be restored. You are not alone on this journey. Something sacred is walking beside you, and in the very next moment, a new window may open. Can you feel the wind of change approaching? There are nights when everything feels silent. You pray, and nothing seems to happen. You seek a sign, and only find stillness. But even God's silence carries purpose. He speaks also when he's quiet. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Psalm 37:7. This silence is not indifference. It is ripening, a space between the seed and the sprout. While you wait, he's working. While you cry, he's preparing. While you doubt, he's sustaining you. You just can't see it yet. But the invisible is more real than it seems. God doesn't need to prove anything. He knows who he is, and he knows what he's doing in your life, even when it doesn't feel fair. It's sacred. It's necessary. It's love. Maybe you long for clear answers, exact directions. Doors open now. But even silence trains the soul. It teaches patience, trust, surrender. And more than anything, it teaches you to listen with your heart. There is no delay in God's timing. His time is precise, even when it feels uncertain. He is not late. He is preparing you so that when the time is right, you'll be ready, and it will come. In the silence, listen to yourself. What is your spirit whispering? What emotions rise when all becomes still? Healing lives in those in-between spaces too, and God is there watching with tenderness. He hasn't stopped loving you. He hasn't gone far. He's just leading you in a different way, a way that is deeper, more transforming, more revealing than you can imagine. Learn to rest in this soundless place. It is fertile. It's where roots grow, where faith strengthens, where the new begins to take shape. You are not forgotten. You are being forged, shaped in heaven's image, polished in silence like an uncut diamond, and soon you will shine. Keep waiting in faith. The answer may not come how you expect, but it will come how you need. And when it does, even the silence will make sense. What is being formed in this quiet space is too sacred to be rushed. There is a right time for every blessing, and heaven is never late. Can you feel that promise vibrating within you? It's not too late. God is still writing your story. You haven't missed the time of grace, even with missteps, detours, or pauses. What is yours in the kingdom cannot be lost. God doesn't work with human clocks. He works with eternal purpose. The Lord will fulfill his purpose for me. Psalm 138:8. This story that feels out of control. God read it before you were born. He knows the ending, and he doesn't make mistakes. Sometimes you look back with sadness, feeling like you should be somewhere else by now. But who said you're late? God's timing honors even your pauses. Nothing is wasted. Even your mistakes are held in his plan, because God's love isn't based on performance. He redeems, he transforms, he recycles. What was weight becomes a bridge. What was a fall becomes momentum. You haven't been left behind. You are being refined. And this process, as painful as it may feel, is also a declaration of love. He's still writing. Don't close the book. Shame does not define your worth. Guilt does not cancel your promise. What God has written for you is still unfolding, like pages turning with the breath of time. Maybe you still wonder, did I miss my chance? But some chances never expire. They simply return deeper because now you're more aware. Heaven doesn't keep time like people do. God doesn't look at age or failures. He sees a heart that is soft and surrendered. And that's the heart he's rebuilding right now. With patience, with artistry, with promise. You're not being set aside. You are being rescued from an old way of living. And that rescue is not loud. It's gentle, silent, but deeply real. Each morning that rises is a new chapter. Each night like this is a chance to begin again. You are still at the center of the story. The pen is still in his hand, and he writes with eternal wisdom. Nothing is final when you're in the Creator's hands. There is always space for rebirth, for restoration, for miracles outside human timing. Do you believe that? Then take a deep breath and let him show you the next paragraph. He hasn't finished speaking. And what comes next might be the most beautiful part of your story. The peace you're searching for doesn't come from the world. Have you noticed how everything around you keeps shifting? Moods, circumstances, relationships, paths. But one thing never changes. God's presence. It remains even when everything else shakes. It is your anchor. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. I do not give as the world gives. John 14:27. This peace can't be explained, only felt. It can't be bought, only received. It can't be earned, only allowed. Maybe you've been searching for peace in answers, in solutions, in control, in certainty. But true peace isn't found in outcomes. It lives in inner surrender, in that quiet space between what you release and what you trust. An anxious soul demands clarity, but a calm spirit knows how to wait. God won't hand you control. He will give you rest. And that rest begins the moment you release the tension. You may not understand it now, but every tear you shed is also a release. You're emptying what weighs you down to make room for what heals. That is peace in motion. Breathe deeply and feel his presence moving through your thoughts. There is no rush here, no expectations, just a gentle invitation to stay a little longer. Even if the world outside is loud, you are building a place of stillness within, a place where God speaks softly, but with full authority, and he is speaking now. This peace does not depend on what happens around you. It is born within and expands outward until everything is wrapped in tenderness. Can you feel it approaching? Don't wrestle with time. Don't force answers. Just be here. Present. Held, completely surrendered to divine presence. It's here, in this unhurried moment, that healing begins. Anxiety loses its grip, fear loses its ground, and love takes root inside you. You are a temple, and what lives in you is greater than any storm. You don't have to keep defending yourself. You don't need to resist anymore. You can simply rest, and in resting, you will remember who you truly are. You are not what happened to you. You are not what they said about you. You are a daughter of the God of peace, and that identity no one can take from you. Not loss, not failure, not doubt, not delay. You are loved. You are chosen. You are safe, even in chaos. And that chaos is beginning to quiet. Because where God dwells, fear doesn't last forever. Can you feel that light turning on? When you no longer know how to pray, just just feel. Words won't always come easily. Some nights all you can offer is a sigh. But God understands the language of the Spirit. He hears what you feel before you speak, and that too is prayer. The Spirit Himself intercedes for us with groanings too deep for words. Romans 8:26. You don't have to be eloquent to be heard. You don't need to know what to say. God doesn't respond to perfect words, but to the honesty of your heart. If all you carry tonight is heavy silence, offer that silence. If all you have is a breath, offer that breath. Heaven moves through invisible gestures. You don't have to strive to be heard. You don't need sacred formulas. God isn't far. He is within you, and He feels with you. Sometimes the pain is so deep that even faith feels quiet. But even quiet faith holds immense power. It's like a seed hidden in soft soil. You are not weak. You are real. You are human. You are being shaped by life and held by God Himself. That is also prayer. Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't feel guilty for not knowing what to ask. The soul also speaks in silence, and the Holy Spirit understands. He is the bridge between your fragility and God's strength. You are being heard right now, even without words, even without sound. Pain does not block connection. It can deepen it. God understands you in ways no one else can. He sees what no one sees. He knows what you can't yet name. And He loves you there, right in the confusion. That is grace. Allow yourself to just be. No pressure, no control. The sacred moment doesn't depend on what you say, but on how you surrender. The most powerful prayer is the raw one, without filters, without decoration, full of truth and vulnerability. God honors a soul that opens like this, because that's where He enters. So if you came here tired, with heavy eyes and a tight chest, stay. Don't say anything if you don't want to. Just feel. Because in the next moment, when you least expect it, a new word might be born within you. And maybe it's already coming. Did you feel that too? When you no longer know how to pray, just feel. Words won't always come easily. Some nights, all you can offer is a sigh. But God understands the language of the Spirit. He hears what you feel before you speak. And that is prayer. The Spirit Himself intercedes for us with groanings too deep for words. Romans 8:26. You don't have to be eloquent to be heard. You don't need to know what to say. God doesn't respond to perfect speech, but to a sincere heart. If all you hold today is a heavy silence, offer that silence. If all you have is a sigh, offer that sigh. Heaven moves through invisible gestures. You don't have to strive to be heard. You don't need sacred formulas. God is not far. He is within you, and He feels with you. Sometimes the pain is so deep that even faith feels shy. But even small faith carries immense power. It's like a seed tucked in soft earth. You are not weak. You are real. You are human. You are being shaped by life itself and embraced by God Himself. That is prayer too. Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't feel guilty for not knowing what to ask. The soul speaks even in silence, and the Holy Spirit understands. He's the bridge between your fragility and divine strength. You are being heard right now, even with no words, even with no voice. Pain doesn't block the connection. It can even deepen it. God understands you in ways no one else can. He sees what no one sees. He knows what you can't yet name, and He loves you right there where everything feels uncertain. That is grace. Allow yourself to simply be. Don't demand anything from yourself. Don't try to control the experience. The sacred moment doesn't depend on what you say. It depends on how you surrender. The most powerful prayer is the raw one. No masks, no polished words, just truth and vulnerability. God honors a soul that opens like this, because that's where He enters. So if you've come this far, tired, with heavy eyes and a tight chest, stay. Say nothing if you don't want to. Just feel. Because in the next moment, when you least expect it, a new word may rise within you, and maybe it's already arriving. Did you hear it too? Maybe after the silence comes rest. Not the sleep of exhaustion, but the conscious rest of one who trusts, of one who knows that even without words, God understands everything the soul feels. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust in Him, and He will act. Psalm 37:5. Now, take a deep breath. Lower your shoulders. Let your guard down. Let God take care of what you can't control. You don't need to fix everything tonight. You don't need to understand or explain. Just like Hannah, who wept silently in the temple. No fancy words, no speeches, only surrender, and God understood. You can rest. Heaven doesn't demand effort right now, only surrender. The soul doesn't need noise to be heard. It needs space. And when you surrender, something begins to shift, just like Moses, standing before a sea that had not yet parted. He didn't shout. He simply obeyed. And the sea listened. What's in front of you isn't a wall. It's a sea waiting on God's command. And that command only comes when you rest in Him. He moves the impossible. But first, He teaches you to trust. Let your body rest now. Let your mind empty out. Like Mary, when the angel spoke to her, she didn't have all the answers, but she said, "Here I am." That kind of surrender isn't weakness, it's spiritual maturity. It's the wisdom of someone who knows that control is an illusion, but faith is a rock. You can say this now in silence. Lord, here I am. Tired, yes, but willing. Confused, maybe, but trusting in your love. That kind of prayer touches heaven and changes destinies. Remember Jesus asleep in the boat while the disciples panicked in the storm. He rested. Because those who know the Father don't fear the wind. You can lie down like that too. Not because everything is fixed, but because you are fixed in God. There is no deeper rest than knowing who you belong to. Close your eyes now, if you haven't already. Feel this surrender like a gentle dive into a warm, still river of divine presence. You are not alone. You are in the Father's arms. And even if the world keeps spinning outside, inside you there is peace. A peace not based on circumstances, but on the quiet trust that God is working while you sleep. And maybe, while you sleep, He's preparing the next sign, an answer, a direction, a light you'll only see with the morning. Now imagine letting go of everything you're still trying to control. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. The silence of this night is fertile. Even if nothing looks different outside, something has already begun to move inside. Silence doesn't mean God is still. Sometimes He stays quiet out of love, so you can learn to hear what only silence reveals. Remember Joseph, unjustly imprisoned, forgotten, seemingly stuck, while God rearranged kings and dreams. And when the time came, he was lifted up without chasing it. It's the same for you. God's timing is never wasted. It's a time of preparation, of alignment, of quiet ordering. You are being relocated into your destiny. Maybe outside, everything still looks the same, but in the unseen realm, heaven is moving on your behalf. The atmosphere is shifting. The answer is being built. You can rest now, because what awaits you doesn't depend on exhausting effort, but on loving surrender. And you have already surrendered. There's nothing you need to prove right now. No battles you must fight alone. God knows your path, and he's adjusting every route, even if you don't realize it. Remember Ruth, she didn't know what was waiting for her, but she chose to stay faithful. And in the field where she gathered leftovers, God was planting a future. You are in that field now, gathering what you can, doing what's possible. But in the unseen, something is being planted, and soon the impossible will bloom. Keep resting, because what God is preparing requires silence, time, and a heart that knows how to wait without losing faith. And faith, my dear, doesn't rely on external signs. It is fed by invisible certainty that even without seeing, you've already been answered. While you breathe, he moves. While you sleep, he sorts out what felt confusing. Are you ready to wake up in a different place? A man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. Proverbs 16:9. Not every no was a loss. Not every delay is punishment. Some pauses were hidden protection. You don't see the full picture, but God does. He sees the curves ahead, and sometimes he makes you stop, not to punish, but to lovingly redirect you. Remember Lazarus. When Jesus heard he was sick, he didn't go immediately. He waited, because the miracle was bigger than healing. It was resurrection. What feels delayed to you might be divinely orchestrated. It's not time holding you back. It's time preparing you. And God is holding every moment with care. You have not been forgotten. You've been hidden for a while, like a pearl in formation, guarded in silence, until your shine is complete. Stop blaming yourself for what hasn't happened yet. God knows the perfect moment, and he is never rushed. What comes from him doesn't arrive early, but it always arrives right. Maybe you've cried over closed doors, but how many traps were avoided? How many rushed decisions he blocked? How many tears he spared you without you even knowing? Rest in the wisdom of God's timing. You don't need to run. You only need to trust. The path may seem still, but inside your faith is moving forward. Like David in the fields, forgotten by his brothers, unaware he was being prepared to reign. You, too, are in silent training, and heaven has already written your name into the promises. It's just a matter of time. Now relax. Let go. Even of the urge for answers. The answer is coming. But before that will come a peace so deep you won't fear the wait anymore. Feel this. Something inside you is realigning, like footsteps slowly approaching, and you know, even without seeing, that the time of promise is drawing near. But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. Isaiah 40:31. Waiting is also a womb, a sacred space where the unseen is being woven with divine threads. Not every action happens outside. Some of the most important ones happen in silence, inside, like the pregnancy of a promise, like the forming of something eternal. Remember Sarah. She waited for years, with doubts, with laughter, with tears, and even with an aging body, her womb became a miracle because God had promised. The same is happening to you now. Even if you see nothing yet, what was planted is growing, and it wouldn't grow if it weren't real. Faith is the root sustaining this process. You're not being punished by waiting. You are being strengthened. You are being aligned with perfect timing, perfect conditions, and the most divine way to be born. Some blessings can only come forth fully matured, and you don't want something before its time. What is big takes longer to be shaped, and what God is doing in you is big, massive, incomparable. Allow yourself to trust the process, even if you don't fully understand it. Like Mary, who carried the Savior within her without ever experiencing anything like it. She simply said, "Yes." You can say that now too. "Yes, Lord. Even without understanding, I accept your timing and your ways." That quiet yes changes everything, inside and out. Keep resting. You are at the center of creation, at the center of a miracle being formed, and this miracle already carries your name. Nothing is standing still. It's being formed with precision. God does not create in a rush. He creates with eternity in his hands, and he is working now. Maybe the first light hasn't broken through yet, but the womb is already pulsing. The unseen is already vibrating with life. And soon the promise that today feels like a seed will rise as an answer. And we all are being transformed from glory to glory. 2 Corinthians 3:18. Not every transformation has a visible sign. Sometimes it comes as a gentle breeze, almost imperceptible, yet full of eternity. Maybe you feel like you're still in the same place, but you're not. Something within you has opened, surrendered, and that alone changes everything. Remember Elijah, hiding in the cave. He expected God in the strong wind, the earthquake, the fire. But God came in a whisper, and in that calm breath, Elijah was restored to continue his mission. It is in the subtle where the sacred lives, in the silence where strength is born. You are being transformed without even noticing, because real transformation doesn't shout, it germinates. You're no longer who you were, and you don't need to be who you're not yet. You are in the middle, the sacred space of transition, and God is with you in this in-between. Don't pressure yourself to feel everything intensely. Lightness is divine too. Delicacy is the language of the Spirit, and He's touching you now, with hands that heal without wounding. Your heart is more open, your mind quieter, your soul more present. That's not by accident. It's grace. It's God rebuilding you from the inside. Remember how Jesus touched with words, with simple gestures, with silent presence. It was in a look, in writing on the ground, in a soft, "Go in peace" whispered to a tired soul. That transformation took place. You are receiving that same touch now, subtle but eternal, soft but irreversible. You are returning home, to the center of your being, and from your center, something new will rise, something that needs no spotlight, only presence, and a heart willing to open. Maybe the greatest change won't come from the outside, but from deep within. And maybe in your next step, you'll finally feel what it means to live in full communion with your new self. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Hebrews 11:1. You don't need to see to know. You don't need proof to believe. Faith knows before it sees. A trusting soul doesn't shout. It rests. It lays down in the arms of the unseen, as if the promise was already fulfilled, even with eyes closed. Remember Abraham. He left his homeland, not knowing the destination. God simply said, "Go." And he went. No map, no guarantees. Faith was his road. You are walking like that now, not by what you can control, but by what you choose to trust. And that trust is healing you from within. Let go of what your mind still tries to understand. The rational mind can't grasp miracles, but the Spirit knows when God is near. And He is here now, closer than ever. You don't need to fix things. You just need to surrender. Like one who dives into deep waters, knowing she'll be held. Faith is that dive. You feel lighter, don't you? Like something invisible is being lifted from within. And it is. God is clearing your inner pathways so peace can come back to dwell inside. Remember the woman with the issue of blood. She touched Jesus in the middle of a crowd, unnoticed by all except Him, because silent faith always stirs heaven. That is the faith walking with you now. Simple, pure, intimate, no stage, no noise, but full of power. And it is guiding you safely. Sleep Prayer Script, Part 14, ASMR Adaptation, English. Let this faith cradle you, like a boat surrendered to the wind of the Spirit, not rowing against everything, but being carried gently toward where purpose awaits you. You don't need to fight. You just need to believe. And while you believe, you can rest, because what you're waiting for is already drawing near. And maybe in the next whisper you'll hear, not a command, but an embrace, inviting you to go deeper. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Psalm 23:6. You are not just being visited by divine presence, you are being wrapped in it. The presence is now home, a sacred dwelling. You no longer need to search outside, because the sacred has found you within. It is inhabiting you with grace, like one choosing to stay where he was welcomed. Remember Jacob. Alone in the desert, he laid his head on a stone and dreamed of open heavens. When he woke up, he said, "Surely the Lord is in this place, and I didn't know it." How many times have you also not noticed? How many times has he held you in silence, sustained you without a sign, delivered you without noise, guided you with tenderness? His presence is subtle, yet powerful, like the air you breathe, like warmth you feel without seeing, like light that comforts without words. And now, it lives inside you. You can rest there, in this sacred place where your soul is quiet, where fear loses its voice and love takes over everything. You are living in peace. It's not about praying louder or trying harder. It's about staying, being where God already is, and letting Him live through you. Remember Paul and Silas in prison. Even in chains, they sang with faith because they knew God's presence isn't limited by circumstances. It lives within, and it is unbreakable. Nothing can take from you this connection now forming. It isn't emotional, it's eternal. a bond of love tied carefully by God to your spirit. You can fall asleep like this, as someone who's arrived, as someone who found shelter, not in a room or a sound, but in a living presence. And maybe when you wake tomorrow, you won't know how to explain what happened, but you'll feel different, like someone who was visited by eternity and now carries that eternity within. You are the light of the world. A city built on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:14. You shine more than you think. Even with flaws, even in your darker days, you carry sparks of the divine. God's light in you doesn't depend on perfection. It depends on presence. It depends on permission. And you've already said yes. By trusting, you've awakened what had long been sleeping. Remember Moses coming down from the mountain. His face was shining with the glory he had seen. He didn't even notice, but everyone else did. Because those who spend time with God inevitably carry something different. You are being transformed in the same way, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. The light surrounding you is expanding, and it will touch others without effort. What you've received in these nights of prayer, in these surrendered silences, in these sacred rests, it's all saturating your energy, your presence, your gaze. From now on, it's not about what you say. It's about what you radiate. The peace you found will be noticed. The light you carry will be felt, because it's impossible to hide someone who's been with God. Remember Stephen. Even in the face of injustice, his face shone like an angel's. The presence in him was greater than fear, and light overcame suffering. You too are being clothed in that light, and it's not yours. It's from above, but it was entrusted to you, so that wherever you go, the atmosphere will shift. You don't need to strive anymore. Just stay connected. The light knows the way. It will guide you. It will guard you. And in the silence of this night, it is already spreading through you, like soft fire, like warm oil, like an invisible halo of peace. Tomorrow, when you open your eyes, something will be different. Not outside, but within. And that within will be the beginning of all things new still waiting to bloom. Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Matthew 5:16. You were not illuminated to hide. You were awakened to shine, to touch lives, even in silence. The peace you feel now is not just for you. It stretches beyond your body, beyond your home, beyond your story. Like the disciples in the upper room who received the Spirit and could no longer stay quiet. They had something new in their eyes, their words, their hands. They carried fire and purpose. You don't have to rush out. This is not about speed or performance. It's about presence, about walking while carrying a different atmosphere. And that is already happening in you. God begins to use you in the ordinary, in a glance that soothes, in a word that comforts, in a silence that welcomes. You become a vessel without trying. Light doesn't need to be explained. It only needs to be seen. And when someone looks at you closely, they'll notice something that words can't describe, the reflection of God in motion. You don't need to make noise. You just need to be. Like salt in food, like fragrance in the air. You'll be there, and that will be enough. Remember Barnabas. He wasn't the most quoted, but he was the one who encouraged, the one who lit others up with his generous heart. And that is sacred service. Maybe you're being called to that now. Not to the stage, but to presence. Not to the spotlight, but to light up hidden corners. The peace that visited you tonight will be the same peace others will receive through your life. Because you're not just a receiver, you're a transmitter. The world needs your light, even if you don't see immediate results. Your quiet steps are already shifting spiritual atmospheres. His presence in you has eternal reach. And tomorrow, when the sun rises, that light will move with you. And wherever it goes, darkness will gently retreat. Are you ready to be used like this? Softly, but powerfully. Because what you've received so far is not meant to stay in you. It's about to flow. For we are His workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. Ephesians 2:10. You didn't go through all this by chance. You are touched, restored, and lit up for something greater and eternal. Everything that was healed in silence, everything surrendered without words, everything received in the Spirit is now part of who you are. You are no longer the same. Like Peter, who denied, wept, and fell, but was restored by the gaze of Jesus, and after that was filled with the Spirit and became a rock for others. You too are being made strong like that. You don't just carry a memory, you carry a seed, and that seed is alive, holding fruit yet to grow in places you can't even imagine. With every sunrise, something new will move in you, not by striving, but because the divine has taken root in your essence. Now, it's a flow, a constant vibration. You are a temple, you are a vessel, you are a moving sanctuary of the Spirit. And wherever you step, the kingdom will manifest through your presence. You won't need much, just your being in peace, your light in motion, your silence that heals, and the love you now carry without limit. You may not see it right away, but the transformations will continue in your thoughts, in your gestures, and how you dwell in the world. Just as Jesus withdrew to pray and returned overflowing, you too have found that secret place, and now it lives inside you. The source won't dry up again. Breathe this in. Let this truth take root. You don't end here. You begin. You continue. And when the next night comes, heaven will remember your name. The Spirit will call you back, and you will know the way. Because once the soul awakens, it always finds its way home.